Hi guys, I'm Kay Smith and welcome to Outlier, where we share inspiring stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things outside of the comfort zone in a bid to help other entrepreneurs and outliers do the same. In today's episode, we will be reviewing Gary Bencheghib's incredible interview about his journey and mission and cleaning the world's dirtiest rivers, starting in his home base in Bali and Indonesia. And if you stick around to the end of this episode, we're going to be giving you access to a free Unleash Your Inner Outlier lesson, which is going to support you in finding the one thing, or many things perhaps, sabotaging your success in business in 15 minutes or less, so that you can finally share your gift, message, and business with the world and enjoy the authority, impact, profits, and success that you deserve. And on top of that, we're also going to be doing a meditation in this episode. And this meditation is going to help you to tune in to your purpose-driven business and help you get the clarity around it. So as always, I'm joined by Andrew McCombe, our founder and CEO. Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Kay. Great to be here as always.
Yeah, thank you. This is going to be a great episode. I'm really looking forward to the meditation at the end. I think everyone's going to get something really powerful from that.
Yeah, I guess with purpose-driven entrepreneurs, it's going to be a cracker. Again, for all the viewers out there, if you haven't seen Gary's Outlier episode yet, you can watch it here. It's essentially a tale of growing up on the island of Bali. Gary saw firsthand the direct impact plastic pollution was having on his home island. So at the meager age of 14, with his younger brother Sam and older sister Kelly, he started Make a Change Bali, a youth-led environmental organization on a mission to clean up Bali's coastlines. And within 10 years, Gary and now it's called Make a Change World, and his rebrand, I guess, or his additional business, Sungai Watch, have focused on getting plastic pollution on front page news and getting the world to know about the urgency to act now. Their projects have included running across the US with upcycled plastic shoes to also traveling down the world's most polluted river on plastic bottle kayaks, which inspired Indonesia's biggest mass cleanup in history. Cleaning up our planet is not an overnight job, and it's going to necessitate everyone concerned. And Gary believes that the best solutions need to be as affordable and as localized as possible for them to be massively scalable. Gary says at the rate that humans are destroying our planet, we believe that no idea is crazy enough to protect it. It's an amazing story, Kay, and obviously I'm going to share some key takeaways from it, and really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's a really inspiring interview, especially because he was so young when he started this project. He was what, 14 or 15?
Yeah, he started out at 14. He was walking along the beach, and obviously in Bali, it's an island, so it cops a lot of rubbish from the tides as well as from the rivers. And obviously in the wet season, it makes it even worse. But, it blows me away. A 14-year-old was so inspired that he started the Make a Change Bali movement at the time, convinced his younger brother and his older sister. And it's just incredible what they've done now, he's engaged the president of Indonesia to engage 7,000 troops to help the cleanup process from the world's dirtiest river, which is actually in Indonesia, called the Citarum River. And so that was a few years back. Since then, they've just gone crazy with the amount of trash blocks and that they put in the rivers and the pontoons and stuff to capture the waste. So incredible takeaways. The first one for me, it sounds pretty much what I'm describing, is Gary talks about committing to one crazy idea, and preferably a crazy idea that you love. And we've talked about it many times, Kay. Obviously, when you love it, it's easy to maintain it. And honestly, when you watch the episode and you actually get to see what Gary does on a day-to-day basis. And I spent half a day doing it with him, cleaning up the trash. It was horrendous. It was disgusting. It stunk. It was 35 degrees. It was humid. I'm sweating. He does it every day. He doesn't bat an eyelid because he's got this crazy idea that he has the ability with his team to clean up the world's dirtiest rivers. So very commendable. And that obviously leads me to the second point. he talks about team and the importance of surrounding yourself with the best possible support team. So for him, that was family initially and friends. And now he's engaged the Indonesian president to help him with 7,000 troops. He's obviously got a lot more than that now supporting, but it's incredible, right? One crazy idea with a much bigger purpose than himself, and he's surrounding himself with a quality team that's helping him make it possible. So those are the first two points, but it sounds pretty similar to all the outliers, doesn't it, Kate?
Yeah, it does. We just really spoke in depth about this with Nathan's interview last week. You know, surrounding you, getting yourself a good team, making sure you're committed to the idea. And I guess with the purpose-driven business, the team needs to be who's going to help you to make that dream come alive. Like for Gary, for example, as you mentioned, the Indonesian Prime Minister. So for Gary, it's like, who is the key person who's going to help me to make my dream come true of cleaning up this island and cleaning up this countries, and then how do I take that to the world? So looking at the key people who are going to help you, and I guess that's where the action planning comes in as well.
Yeah, well, obviously they didn't start out even thinking about the Indonesian Prime Minister or President rather. They obviously just had the crazy idea. They created an action plan to make it possible, and their first venture was actually to travel down the Mississippi River. Past Cancer Alley, they call it. It's one of the the highest prevalence of cancer rates in America, and it's because they pump all this toxic waste into the Mississippi. So they did a 2-month trip down there. That was part of the plan, obviously. Other than obviously cleaning up the beaches and the rivers every weekend initially. But yeah, like everything, right? You've got to create the action plan, look at the goal or the end in mind, and then work your way back. And then take action. So the third point is obviously create an action plan to make it possible. And then the fourth point is to take action and refine the plan as you go. Again, it's similar to all the outliers out there. But again, for Gary, and I promise you, it is horrendous what they do every day. He wouldn't say that. He's so passionate about it. But it's for me, it was horrendous, yet such a great cause. So the fifth point is stay focused on the dream. And obviously, if we go back to the first point, if you're not passionate about it enough, you're not going to stick to the dream long enough. And Gary and I talked a lot about that in the interview, of how he manages to stay motivated, and then also how he feels others can get in touch with their dream and become motivated with it. And then the sixth point was just be patient. He's been doing it for 10 years now. It has, it's not an overnight success, but it's really starting to gain traction. So really interesting key points, very similar to all the other outliers, but again, it's not rocket science, guys. There's a formula to success, and Gary has obviously shared that with you. If you're not clear on your success or what it looks like for you, or even what you want to do, Gary's advice there was support someone else's cause before you initiate your own. Obviously, do a lot of research, look into documentaries, Google stuff you might be interested in. Read lots of books that are important to you or that you're interested in. Join young entrepreneurs groups, even if you don't have a business yet or a cause. Join the other groups, the Facebook groups and stuff, and just see what's out there and see what resonates with you. And then at some point, and it doesn't happen overnight and it doesn't happen straight away for a lot of people. Other outliers we've interviewed, it takes 30, 40 years, unfortunately, but it will happen. As long as your focus, and this is what the meditation will do shortly, is related to the deep inner calling that you have in relation to the cause that you'd love to be part of.
And I guess also when you're looking at a cause and looking at a purpose, with what Gary's doing, it's so relevant what's going on in the world right now as well. And obviously people can literally see it with their eyes, the plastic going into the oceans and climate change. So I guess going to the second point of surrounding yourself with the best possible team, having a cause that's also really relevant, that other people are passionate about, that you can then become that leader in that field and then bring the people on board to help your dream come true faster, would also be a takeaway I would have from that.
Yeah, well, I guess it's really prevalent, right? Climate change has been prevalent now for probably the last 30 years or so from my observation, and I've only been around a little less than 30 years. But it's a good point, Kay. It's like essentially saying, I mean, he talks about it in the episode too. It's like things need to happen now because there will be more plastic in the water, in the oceans in the year 2050 than there will be fish. And that's a really, really scary statistic, right? But even with that being the case, it's still not enough to stop people polluting now. So he talks about the two things that he feels is needed for people to start doing things now. One is, we talked about the boiled frog scenario in the episode, where if you boil a frog slowly, it'll die. But if you throw a frog into boiling water, it'll jump out straight away. So what the analogy there is, an emergency event is like the boiling water now. So he believes it needs an emergency now. And we're starting to see that with the climate patterns and the change that's going on. I know in Australia, we've just had the two worst, or one of the worst floods in 500 years, and another one backed up just a couple of days later or a couple of weeks later. I know Thailand's getting hammered by rain at the moment. I know New Zealand's getting irregular weather patterns. So it's really starting to become prevalent in our external reality. And then he talks about, so obviously it needs an emergency event for most people to have a life change. Obviously a good one that we talk about at Outlier is a heart attack's a classic one. So if someone usually has a heart attack, it often, they go one or two ways. They can die, or three ways actually. They can do nothing if they don't die, or they actually really evaluate their life and go, what do I need to do differently now? And they often go off and finally follow their heart, their purpose, and start to do something completely different to what they've done up until now, which often caused the heart attack in the first place. So he also talks about, if there's not an emergency event, then just look at small steps to help you, and it can be in relation to your cause, or if you want to support a cause like climate change. He just talks about, maybe if you've got a plastic toothbrush, change it to a bamboo toothbrush, or change your straws. If you're drinking out of plastic straws, change them to bamboo as well. Or just those little changes, say maybe one change a week, and eventually over 1 year, that's 52 changes you could have made that makes a significant difference. So Kay, absolutely great point you make. The prevalence of having something in your environment or in your face right now is obviously going to help a cause a lot easier. And then obviously, if it's already existing, look to find connections within it already. His girlfriend's one of the major activists on the island. They're big on getting rid of plastic bags, and they've done a great job in Bali, which now I think is banned plastic bags. So they're partners in girlfriend, boyfriend, and they work together to help each other as well. So yeah, absolutely. Look for the like-minded people who are interested in the same thing, and you can't go wrong.
Amazing. Yeah, I think I just saw on their Instagram as well. They just floated down a river in a giant water drop made out of plastic bags to highlight water, the National Water Week or something like this. I mean, they're doing really things outside the box as well, and in terms of PR and to get awareness out there.
Well, that's what they knew they had to do that, right? Because it's not a sexy thing what they're doing. So if they keep doing that, it's not really getting as much traction as the going down the Mississippi, or Sam running across America. 117 marathons in a row. Never run a marathon before that. So he did that from ocean to ocean, got incredible PR from that. They got incredible PR from the Mississippi River. And that's also what prompted the Indonesian president to clean up the Citarum River. So Sungai Watch is all about their media side that's really trying to get them as much exposure as they possibly can. And again, I guess the biggest takeaway for me from Gary, he's got a passion for Bali. He's got a passion for the ocean globally. He wants to clean it up, obviously. And he's got a passion for the planet. And that's what keeps him going on a daily basis, no matter how hard his task is. And I know it's a big task and it's a smelly task. But that's what keeps him going. But his biggest takeaway for the viewers, or for the young entrepreneurs and outliers out there, was to focus again on that one thing that you can do to make a difference to this planet in your lifetime, so that you can ultimately aim to leave a legacy for that one thing. And then obviously from doing that, you're going to make a difference to the planet, to yourself, to your family, to your community, and to others in the world, which is very honorable. Again, it goes back to committing to that one crazy idea, and preferably that you're passionate about.
Amazing. Yeah, this has been such a great interview for that kind of inspiring stories for purpose-based businesses. So do you want to go into how we can tune into that in ourselves?
Yeah, so if you're watching this episode and you're still feeling uncertain, or you don't have the clarity or direction around what you'd like to do, and we're going to do a meditation now that applies to business, it applies to relationships, it applies to finances, it applies to sport, it applies to purpose, vision, values, whatever. You can apply it to anything. And it ultimately is a process that I've put together based on the philosophies of Outlier. And the first one, we've got 3 key philosophies. Your external reality, be that everything that happens outside of your eyes, is a reflection of your internal reality. So your external reality, be that your physical body and your physical environment, is actually a reflection of what's going on internally in your thoughts, your feelings, and your beliefs. So what's powerful about that is if you want to change your external, so let's say you're not clear on your purpose right now, but you want to be, then that's an internal job. And that's really powerful, because what that really means is you can control that, right? So what we say at Outlier, our second philosophy, is your ideal reality, be it business, sport, relationship, finances, health and well-being, whatever, already exists, right? The only reason you don't have it right now is you're not resonating with it energetically. So you're not on the same wavelength. So what we do is we encourage you, and this is what the meditation does, is to tune into your feelings to get them to the same vibration of the thing or the ideal reality that you're looking to achieve. So if you think about your ideal reality, even if you're not clear on what it is, I bet you know what it would feel like as if it did already exist. Now, quantum physics has shown that it does already exist. Every possibility of every possibility exists at the same time. So now you know it exists. That's pretty exciting, right? So if you were to close your eyes and visualize, you don't even have to see it, right, initially, but if you know what it would feel like for you, there's going to be some key feelings. So if you can feel those feelings as much as you can, then very quickly you're going to start resonating with the ideal reality. And then all of a sudden, it starts showing up on your external reality, so outside of you. Sounds like crazy, or it sounds a bit crazy, but I promise you, and I've experienced it many, many times, the key is just resonating with the energetic vibration of that which you already know exists and you want to achieve. So the third philosophy that we have at Outlier is feeling is healing. And our feelings just want to be felt. But most people, especially if they're negative feelings, don't want to feel them. So they'll do whatever they can not to feel them. Sorry, guys, I just got someone in the back of the office. So what do we do there? We identify what we're feeling at any given moment. Could be a positive feeling or a negative feeling. And then we tune into it. And literally within 30 seconds, the feeling will shift and it has insight for us that goes on underneath. So our deeper wisdom, our inner insights brings forth to us the next steps, essentially, or the wisdom required to achieve the ideal reality that we want to achieve. So that's kind of the overriding concept, guys. What we're going to do now, and I might use Kay as a bit of a guinea pig, is I'm going to put you through a process that we use that allows you to tune into whatever it is you want to achieve, right? So in this case, let's call it our purpose-driven business or our purpose-driven cause. And we're going to put you through the process. It only takes about 10 minutes. And very quickly, you're going to start resonating with it a lot more. Just be wary, though, even though we might be focused on the positive or the ideal outcome, you might find some negative thoughts, feelings, or beliefs come up in the short term. But we at Outlier have another meditation that we have as part of our program that can help you dissipate those feelings. And so you can start achieving the ideal reality as well. So, Kay, are you ready to go? I'm gonna kind of talk you through this as my guinea pig or my student, and then we're also in reverse, just going to try and be quiet as we can, so that the viewers can actually tune in and see what their purpose-driven business is at a deeper energetic level. Sound good?
That's perfect. That sounds great. Let's do it.
Okay, so let me just shut my notes down. Okay, so always we choose what we want to focus on. So in this case, it's tuning into our purpose-driven business or cause, okay? So we always close our eyes. And the reason we do that is so we can tune inward and not be distracted. And if you've got any distractions going on, like your phone or any notifications or whatever going on, switch them off, close the door, make sure no one's going to interrupt. And I want you to take 3 to 5 deep breaths, okay, as you tune into the concept of your purpose-driven business. And as you do that, I just want you to start focusing on an area of your body where actually you'll be able to feel where this purpose-driven business is in your body or outside of your body. It might be in the room or outside of the room. So you'll have your intuition will tell you where it is.
Okay.
All right. So that's all I want you to focus on, is just where is it? And it usually comes within 3 seconds. I don't want you to overthink it. I just want you to go with the first thing that comes to mind. Okay, so for the viewer's sake, let's just say, where would it be for you, Kay, right now?
It's in my gut.
In your gut, in your stomach?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so what we do now is we tune into that area. So all our attention goes there, all of our breath goes there. And then what I want you to do and the viewers to do is just feel what's going on there for me as I guide you through the process, okay? So tune your attention there, take a nice deep breath. And I would ask you, what color is it?
It's red.
What shape is it?
Oval.
What size is it?
A medium size. 10 centimeters.
Yeah. What texture is it?
Flat and smooth.
What temperature is it?
Cool.
Okay, take another deep breath and continue to take deep breaths regardless of me talking, okay? So just get into a nice rhythm there. The reason we do the deep breathing is to help us relax and tune into our subconscious even more. Okay, I want you to just tune in and now answer, what is the feeling or emotion associated with this in your stomach, this identity that you've identified?
Happiness was the first thing that came to mind.
Perfect. So what I want you to do now, Kay, is I want you to feel as much happiness as you can. And I want you to feel it even more, and take a nice deep breath and just literally surrender to the feeling of happiness. And I want you to feel it even more. And 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 so as we've talked about, the key here is you already know what it's going to feel like in your purpose-driven business or cause. It's going to be happiness, right? And there may be other feelings associated, but that's what it is right now. So the more you can feel happiness or happy, the faster it's going to show up for you. All right. So we're going to come back to another round of that in a minute. But what is really interesting, right? I mentioned feeling is healing. Feelings just want to be felt, and they always have a message for us. They're trying to help us. So if you were to give happiness a voice, what would it say right now?
The thoughts that are coming up with this, and I guess this is the voice, would just be doing something purposeful, let's say in the community, brings happiness to many people and to myself. For the act of service, I guess, is what comes out.
Perfect. So I want you to say that again in one shorter sentence.
So happiness is the act of service, brings happiness and joy to myself and others.
Perfect. So you've just given yourself a clue on what you need to do more of, right? It's giving service to the local community, right? And being of purpose to them. You're helping them in some way. Okay. So what we've got now is a visual reference. You can see what that looks like. So the quickest way to achieve anything is see it in your mind with absolute clarity, and you've now got that clarity, and feel it in your body with absolute certainty as much as you can, right? So how do we do this? This is where sports visualization and hypnosis, etc., is so powerful. Is the fastest way for you to attract it is close your eyes, tune into the community and giving service to them. That's your visual reference, right? And you'll have the reference that comes to you, and then feel the happiness with absolute certainty that that will give you. All right. And I can already see it in your body language that you're resonating with it right now. All right. So the key now is to feel it even more.
Okay.
So take your nice deep breaths, and I'm going to get you to tune into it even more, right? So you can see it in your mind, you can feel it in your body. Has it moved from your stomach to somewhere else?
Yes. It feels like it's in between my heart and my throat.
Perfect.
In this area.
Awesome. So put your attention there. Always chase the feeling, right, and the location. So now put your attention there between your chest and your throat, right? Nice deep breath. So take your breath to that area now. Surrender to what's going on and tell me what color it is now.
Green.
What shape is it?
Blobby.
What size?
Medium again.
Temperature?
Warm.
Texture?
Squishy.
And emotion or feeling associated?
Again, it's like light, fun. I can't think of the word.
Cool. And you don't have to, right? This is important. It's just the feeling of it. We don't need your mind to jump in and try to determine it all. Just feel it. So again, feel it as much as you can. And if I was to ask you if on a scale of 0 to 10, if 10 was the most you could feel it, what would it be right now?
7.
Cool. So I want you to bring it on even more. And this applies to the viewers as well. Pretend you're in a swimming pool, you're on your back and you're just basking in the swimming pool. But in this case, you're basking in that feeling. And just surrender to it. Take a nice deep breath. And then let it go. And feel it as much as you can. And obviously we could do this for minutes, tens of minutes on end, but for the sake of this recording, what is the number now, Kate? What are you feeling?
I'm almost hitting a 10.
Awesome. So I want you to just bask in that feeling. And this is the kicker. What is the next thing I need to do in order to achieve this purpose-driven business? And what would your subconscious say? It takes about 3 seconds of that to tell you.
The words just came up, get out there.
Get out where?
In the community.
Okay, so there's your homework. All right, for the viewers' sake, let's just leave it there. They'll have their own thing that they need to do, but we only focus on 1 to 2 steps maximum, right? Because we don't want to overwhelm you. But you know, the next step is to get out there in the community. And I could ask you, as I'm going to, what does that look like for you? What's the first thing you can do to get out into the community?
Going to somewhere where I know maybe a lot of community people hang out, and just introducing myself and seeing what's going on and getting, I guess it's building that support network that we spoke about before, like who's the team, who needs help, what's going on.
Perfect. And then what does that feel like? Just you're future projecting that to do that. Like it's not, hasn't happened yet, but let's future project it. What does it feel like to you to do that?
It feels exciting.
Perfect. So again, feel more exciting, right? That's the key. Just keep feeling it. Feel happy, feel exciting. Alrighty. And so you don't even need to know like the end goal of the purpose-driven business or cause, but you know the present moment outcome of it is to get into the community, engage and introduce yourself with people. That feels exciting. Do more of it until it doesn't feel exciting anymore. If it starts feeling flat or, draining or whatever, it's just time to reevaluate, just refine the process. But again, for the viewer's sake, I'm going to reevaluate what we've just done. We close our eyes. We take 3 to 5 deep breaths. We identify the concept we're trying to focus on for the meditation. In this case, it's to tune into or unleash your purpose-driven business or cause. So somewhere in your body, your room or outside of the room, you will naturally be guided to an area to tune into. As you were, it was first of all in the gut. Then we go through the color, the shape, the size, the texture, and the temperature. The reason we do that, that's using our senses to tune right into it, not be distracted by other things. But what I'm really doing there is I then ask, what does it feel like, or what's the emotion associated? That's the most important part, right? You identified happiness as the first thing. We want you to feel that as long as we can. For the sake of this lesson, we only did it for a few seconds, but I would encourage you to do that for 5 minutes or so, right? And then that guided you to the next area, which was what gives you happiness, getting into the community, which was between the throat and the chest, right? And then that guided you to all these other sensations. Feel more of that. Next step, get out into the community, introduce myself and engage. How simple was that, Kay?
It was really simple. And and as we said about the clarity, it was very quickly how the clarity and just the next step, like I said, there's not even an end goal, but just take that next step and see where it goes. Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing, right? You don't need to know all the steps or the whole staircase. Just take the first step. And your intuition, this is a beautiful thing about our intuition, our internal tuition, education, knowledge, is it knows everything. And it will always give to us at any given moment the highest priority thing that we need to do, right? And your highest priority things, get out in the community and introduce yourself, right? And that's leading you towards a more purpose-driven business or cause, right? Or even life. It doesn't even have to be business there. It could, who knows what it can lead to. You might find your perfect partner in that space or whatever, right? And obviously by being in that space, your health and well-being improves and everything improves. But what did you do? We talked about the philosophies. Your external reality, be that your physical body and your physical environment, is a reflection of your internal. So what did we do?
Right.
Right. We went internal.
We went internal. And this is such a great hack, really. It's like a hacking into our intuition using this method.
Well, if your intuition knows everything at every given moment and it's wanting to help you and it's trying to help you through your feelings are the access point to then get the wisdom, right? So guys, if you're watching this and you feel inspired and you maybe felt that you either brought something up or you found that your purpose-driven cause or business was right in front of you or not, whatever happened for you, you can download or you can watch the free Unleash Your Inner Outlier lesson for life. You can do it as many times as you want to tune into whatever you want. So we'll put the link for you down below. And then obviously what we do at Outlier is we take it to a whole new level, because what you'll find with me doing it with Kay manages, it helps her getting out of her own way. So when you listen to a meditation and that helps you get out of your own way, so you can just relax and tune into your inner self. Sometimes when we try to do it on ourselves, we're trying to be the practitioner and the student at the same time. So it's not as easy. And that's why we've created our coaching programs that allow you to get out of your own way and then obviously achieve your ideal reality as quickly as you possibly can. And we follow this process, this intuitive process, a lot more than the how-to head-based or mind-based process.
Yeah, because that was something that I noticed when I'm doing that with you, Andrew. Like when we were asking, feel happiness even more, I can still feel my wanting to get in my own way in that, because we do have these limiting beliefs and things that do stop us and sabotage us and whatever. So this process that we use in our coaching really helps to clear those things out the way, to allow this intuition to come up more and allow us to have the confidence to take the actions that come up and begin living our outlier lives.
Yeah, it's a really interesting point, right? So sometimes, as I mentioned, you can bring up resistance, or call it resistance, or limitations, limiting beliefs, thoughts, feelings, or beliefs. But again, this is the most powerful part of all of it. Once you tune in, whatever comes to you, whatever your intuition says to you, you have to take action on it. So it's an easy one for you, Kay. Just get out in the community and hang out with people, which I know you love doing. But often people dishonor themselves, right? And don't take the action that their intuition said to take. Now, what happens if you do that enough, if you dishonor yourself enough, your intuition, it becomes silent. It doesn't talk to you anymore because it doesn't trust you. So it's like, what's the point, right? So please, if you're out there and you're listening to this, honor yourself, take the action, no matter how crazy it might seem. Take the action and the magic starts happening.
It's like a muscle as well. It's like training yourself, and you have to keep using that muscle.
Absolutely. And that's why we have the our meditation program, right? The Unleash Your Inner Outlier program. And it's a daily thing. We get people to tune into their ideal outlier life daily. We have another meditation that's called the Fast Healing Meditation, which helps clear away the resistance. And then we have a gratitude and appreciation meditation, which is one of the highest wave frequencies you can feel in relation to anything on planet Earth. So the more you feel in gratitude and appreciation, the amazing things that start to come up for you or in your external reality is profound, right? Just by feeling that inner gratitude and appreciation. So again, amazing process, extremely simple, extremely natural. And we're not trying to work stuff out. We're just tuning in and listening and taking action on what comes forth to us.
Incredible. That was really powerful and profound. And I'm sure our viewers would have got something really great from that too. It was a bit of a different way of doing things for this podcast, but it's a great introduction of what we do and how we help people and what's available to our audience and unleashing their inner outlier. So guys, please, if you did get something from this, we'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Like if what came up for you, what actions you might have got from this meditation. I mean, drop them below because we'd love to hear them. Give us a like. Please share this with anybody else that we think will find this powerful and interesting and it will really benefit them. And make sure you tune in for next week to our next round of interviews and for our podcast. Have you got anything else to add, Andrew, before we sign off?
No, I think, like, as always, Kay, if we look at our outlier episodes that we do with the outliers, they've essentially, without even knowing it, followed this process, right? Just instinctually. And they've got the outcomes that they've got. And so what we do is just use them as we talk about success leaves clues. They're just clues. And what we do with the outlier process, the Unleash Your Inner Outlier process, just fast track success by helping you tune in a lot faster so you can get there a lot quicker.
Exactly. We don't need to spend any more time doing the wrong things or being in our heads most of the time, right? We're all getting our own way, where we've got these tools available to us that just get us right there and allow us to share our gift with the world. Because why wait any longer?
Absolutely. And the beautiful thing, Kay, they don't cost a cent and they're all inside of us.
Exactly. Amazing. So we're really excited that we hopefully have unleashed some amazing purpose-driven businesses from this episode.
Yeah, again, like if you are feeling compelled to start a purpose-driven business or a cause or just have more purpose in your life, feeling more connected to it, and you want some support, download the Unleash Your Inner Outlier lesson below. And obviously, if you want to take it even further, then you can jump on a discovery call or a strategy session with us. And if you want to, you can join our coaching programs as well. We'd love to have you on board. Yeah, amazing. I can't wait. All right. Thank you so much, Andrew. Thank you to our audience for tuning in. And we will see you next time.